Okay, y'all, this is a very interesting relationship advice post. I have never seen or heard anything like this. So we're going to jump into it, and it does have an update. So she's 24, he's 25. She says, my boyfriend told me that snacking on mozzarella cheese balls might be a deal breaker. What should I do? I don't know. My deal breakers are like cheating and lying and stuff. So I've never heard of mozzarella cheese balls being a deal breaker. She says, throwaway account because my boyfriend knows my personal Reddit account. Hey, Reddit. So I'm in a very weird situation and I don't know how to proceed. I'm hoping to get some insight from people who don't know us personally because this is really embarrassing for me. So, to preface, I am a cheese lover. I absolutely adore cheese. It's my favorite snack. My number one cheese has got to be mozzarella, specifically the ball shaped mozzarella. The texture and flavor are so good, especially with the little salt sprinkled. I buy those Bellagio so packs of mozzarella balls, and they have been my snack of choice since I was a freshman in college. They were easy and convenient to keep in my mini fridge for a quick, cheap, and easy bite. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years now, and we recently moved in together. He's known about my love of cheese since our first date. He took me to a restaurant and we ordered like three charcuterie boards. I don't think he knew what he was getting into with my snacking, and he probably didn't expect to see me eating mozzarella balls daily. I thought he was fine with it, but now he's making an issue out of it, and I don't know if I should stop. His specific issue is the shape of the cheese. He tells me that seeing me eat, ball shaped cheese makes him uncomfortable. He said it is lewd and that, and I quote, seeing me pop a wet cheese ball in my mouth makes him think of me having another man's balls in my mouth. Yeah, I was really confused and I told him I don't think this is that big of a deal and that it's literally cheese, but he told me the imagery still grosses him out. I thought we could work through this, but after a while, he said it might be a deal breaker if I don't stop. Afterwards, he left for work. During the argument, he said he doesn't care if I eat mozzarella cheese. He just wants me to eat it string or shredded instead. I know this is so high maintenance of me, but mozzarella balls are just my favorite snack. The texture, the taste is just so good. I like shredded cheese and string cheese, but they just aren't the same. I'm thinking that maybe I should buy the smaller mozzarella balls that Beligioso sells and hope they don't bother him. But if I feed into this, it could reinforce this mindset he has. I don't know what to do. I want to make him comfortable, but this feels really controlling and unnecessary. Not to mention, I really don't want to give up on my favorite snack. He's a great guy, and I know this post isn't doing justice, but I just want to know if this is a red flag from him or if putting my foot down on this is unreasonable. Thank you in advance to anyone who reads this and offers me some advice. All I know is I believe that this is an advertisement from that mozzarella company. I do believe that sincerely with my heart because now I want to go out and buy some of these mozzarella balls and sprinkle some salt on it because the way she sold it to me, I want to now try it. And how dare this man try to separate a woman from her cheese? How dare he? He out. You must go, dude. All right. So this person says, I would consider a partner who got SE actually jealous over a cheese snack a deal breaker personally. This person says, she was cheating on me with cheese balls, bro. Dib said, that's just the start. Soon she might move on to cheese sticks. And you know how sticks are shaped. Yes, you know. Okay, here's the update. She says, first of all, I want to thank you all for your time spent with me. It's honestly a little overwhelming to see how many people took a break from what I assume are very busy lives to give me advice and support. I think it's very beautiful how so many people in so many different places can come together and give some love to people who need it. Secondly, I have a short and savory update. Get it? I meant to say badoonts. Sorry, I messed that one up. She says, because I couldn't leave you guys hanging. The morning after I posted, me and my boyfriend talked out this entire issue, and he ended up explaining why his mind immediately went to a place of SE actualizing something that has no implications. I left this out of my original post because it felt unrelated, even though in hindsight it was obvious. But there was an issue with infidelity in his previous relationship. I didn't know the details of what happened and never tried to bring it up because I didn't want to upset him. That was my mistake though, because he is still struggling with insecurities and felt unsure if he could tell me about it. Both of us were lacking in communication skills, but we ended up clearing the air, and I found out both why his last relationship ended and why seeing me eat cheese balls upset him. All I know previously was that he had a serious relationship with his ex girlfriend and they broke up because she cheated on him. Now he let me know he found out about the incident because the person she cheated with sent him a video of her eating another man's cheese balls. He told me he feels like by now he should have gotten over it, but the betrayal stuck with him. The new move in together has started to trigger his unresolved feelings and has given him new anxieties that our relationship might end the same way. I think pairing that with the daily visual reminder through the cheese balls was a little too much for him. I know many of you have strong opinions about him, and I'm so sorry to disappoint, but I am not ready to let go of this relationship yet. During our conversation, I let him know that I didn't like the direction he was going with his ultimatum because it felt controlling, and I told him I wouldn't tolerate another incident like this in the future. We already decided we would be looking for couples counseling in our area to help us move both on from this incident and generally learn how to communicate more openly so that neither of us will bottle up our negative emotions alone, and instead we can help each other overcome those emotions as a unit. Right now, I'm feeling very hopeful, and I think that knowing about his past will leave me better equipped to pave a better future with him. Thank you all for your advice and support. I think that without your perspectives, I might have just given up on my cheese, and the two of us would continue to hide our emotions without realizing that we need to open ourselves up to more communication if we want to stay confident in both ourselves and each other. P.S. An extra thank you to everyone who gave me recipes and new cheeses to try. Okay, first of all, she is taking some of the blame for lack of communication when she didn't know that there was a problem. I don't like when women are apologetic for something that they didn't know that they were doing wrong. She did nothing wrong in this situation. There's no way she could have communicated better when he was purposely or whatever keeping something from her. How was she supposed to know that she needed to tiptoe around his ex's relationship and cheating when he didn't communicate that with her? So that's one thing. And then I am glad that she stuck up for herself and didn't give in to the ultimatum, because giving up something that you enjoy for no reason, like he didn't even explain, but she was almost about to do that. So I'm glad that people surrounded her and said that this is inappropriate for him to even ask. So I do believe that he needs therapy, and not necessarily her, but any of us can learn how to communicate better with each other. And that is not something that is a terrible thing to examine, but he needs to work on and work through his issues of being cheated on. That's the crux of their issues, not necessarily anything that she did, because she didn't even have a chance to improve her communication because she didn't know that there was a problem. All right, so that's my 2 cents on it. And since I did the post and the update, I'm not jumping into these comments, but you guys let me know what you think about this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. So this story reads as the origin story to how some trad wives end up broken down and broke. It's not always their fault. Some of it is their programming, their socialization, and their indoctrination from their church. So that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this story. She says, she's 19, her husband is 22. She says, I feel very overwhelmed because of my baby, and I don't know how to tell my husband how I feel right now. What is the best way I can try to tell him without upsetting him? This is one of the main reasons why I don't think that women should get married so young before they really know themselves and have a voice, because she doesn't know how to talk to her own husband, because she doesn't know herself enough just yet. And that's just the title. Okay, so she says, I got married about a year ago. I have a son that is 7 months now, And I do love him, but it's very hard. I'm also pregnant, maybe about 20 weeks now, and apparently it's a girl, but I don't really like thinking about it. I know it's my role to be a good mother, but I'm not. Everyone is really happy about it. My parents love him, but he doesn't really feel like my child sometimes, which sounds stupid because obviously I gave birth to him. But when he cries, I just want to forget about him. And I can't because I'm scared of what that could do, but I wish I could. And I'm also so tired. He's always awake and always hungry, and I'm horrible at breastfeeding, so that makes him more upset. They say he's fine. I'm not starving him or anything, but I feel like I am sometimes because she's still literally a child who is still learning her own body. And now she has to give her body to this baby while growing another baby. This is wild. This is the reason why teenagers should really not be having babies. Okay, she says, when my parents and I moved to America from Russia when I was 13, I'm sorry, my parents and I moved to America from Russia when I was 13 years old. Back home, my parents weren't very religious. We only went to church. They weren't strict about it. I also had a lot of ambition. I thought I was going to be able to do what I wanted to do. I wanted to do ballet for as long as I could and then maybe work in medicine because I was very interested in it. I hated the change. I didn't like anything about it. I wanted to be home again. And then when my parents joined the church, it was so much worse. I thought it was going to be like the one at home, but it was nothing like that. After that, my parents became very strict. They stopped letting me do things I used to do at home or wear things I used to. And it was very difficult because I didn't have many friends at all. And I had trouble talking and understanding people as well. I thought it would get better, but it never really did. While my language improved, nothing else did. They stomped the ambition out of this young girl. That is what the church did. It erased her. It stomped her out. Her goals, it stomped it out, and it made her a shell of herself. So now she is now a woman that has no voice. She says, sometimes there's good days and I'm happy with the baby and I love him, but sometimes I wish none of this had happened. I know it's horrible and I'm so lucky I have him, but I'm very tired. I don't sleep at all some days, or I just end up falling asleep on the floor sometimes, which makes me worried about the pregnancy too. My husband isn't a bad person. He's happy about the pregnancy, which makes him nicer. And he likes my cooking, which is nice because sometimes I worry it's too foreign for him, but he doesn't really help with the baby. Maybe it's silly that I expect that, but sometimes I just want him to watch the baby for a couple of minutes so I can be sick and not worry about him at the same time. He doesn't really know how to help me, but I also really don't know how to help myself either. I'm scared of making him upset because I'm becoming really worried about what I'm doing to both the baby and the one I'm pregnant with. I don't really know how I could tell him this because I get really nervous about it because I know I should be doing better in managing, but I'm just not, and I don't know what to do. Hearing me read this, people should know and understand why I am anti religious. Just think about the possibilities that this girl had before her parents basically groomed her to be a bangmaid for this man. And now she's having baby on top of a baby. So basically, even if she were to just up and become more fulfilled in her life and her dreams, other than being a wife and a mother, is going to take that much more. She doesn't even have the words to be able to ask her husband to take care of their child for a few minutes. She's exhausted. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she doesn't have the communication skills. She's not functioning as an adult because she doesn't have the experience to do that. Her parents have set her up for the okie doke and basically gave her to this man who's not going to be helpful as a husband or a father at all. She's going to have to figure this out by herself. And who does she have to look to? Obviously, if her parents have set her up for this okie doke, they're not going to be a good support system. Her husband is obviously not a good support system. And so this is one of the reasons why I think girls getting married this young just sets them up for failure. And if she were to get a backbone and be able to leave and set herself up to get out of this situation, it's still going to take a couple of decades to right the ship. Whereas if she would have gone to school first got some career experience, maybe got her voice and some confidence, she wouldn't be questioning herself like this. This is one of the main reasons why I do not believe that girls should be getting married as teens or early 20s. This is prime example. I'm not going to do a lot of these comments. I'm going to do this one because I've already editorialized myself. Sanguine psychologist says, okay, I'm going to tell you something, OP. I share your heritage, so I understand better than most the kind of environment you were raised in, the kind of standards you were held to, and the kind of lack of expectations you were raised around when it comes to men, gender roles, and family. You are not the problem, and there is nothing wrong with you. What you are is very young, isolated, and struggling without any meaningful support system or life experiences to guide you. What you're feeling is frustration and hopelessness. You're overwhelmed with the weight of parenting a toddler and another pregnancy already. Likely do most, if not everything around the house. Everyone around you is expecting you to be happy and satisfied because you've hit all the big marks of happy womandom, marriage, and children. And in the words of my own mother, if you have the time to be depressed, you're either not doing enough or you're ungrateful. And your child is constantly crying and you feel incredibly guilty because you feel like you should be doing more, but you're numb on the inside and the things that should make you feel love and happiness are missing. That's postnatal depression, and I'm not joking when I say it's a silent deleter. Not everyone finds fulfillment being a mom. There are people who live to become moms and base their entire personalities around being a mom, and there are those who want something more. That doesn't mean we don't love our children. You can be a great mom without being only a mom. Identity loss during pregnancy and motherhood is huge, and there are supports out there for you. Not all moms fall in love with their children from the moment they are born. They don't like to talk about it, but it's true. My son is now 6 years old, and I love him so much. But the first year of his life, I was a single parent with the full weight of respect our culture gives to that, and I felt nothing on the inside. I was going through the motions and doing all of the right things, but I did not want to be there most of the time. I felt so much guilt over it too. Felt I wasn't good enough as a young, hopeless mom, and I was pushing and punishing myself for not being happy and not being better. I had postnatal depression, and it took a lot to admit that to myself that I needed help. Therapy is the best course of action for you right now, and it's a long road, a road of discovering who you actually are and what you want in your life, and learning mechanisms to communicate and stand up for that. Our culture teaches us that we as women should carry the entire mental and physical load of the family and be grateful if our husbands bring home money and touch us occasionally. That's not the standard you have to stick by. My mom did that for decades and convinced me that this is how it is. And yet my husband is also Russian, and he takes on as much parenting and housework as I do when he isn't working. But I would not be with my husband if I hadn't went through the road of discovery, established my boundaries, and held my romantic partner to those standards. I would still have been on the level of an abusive ex that was a walking stereotype of our culture. You need to sit down with yourself and think about the kind of life you would want for yourself in the future. Really dream it, consider it, decide what you need out of your life and what you would like to do for your child. Again, therapy will help you massively. I truly wish you the best, OP. That woman dropped the mic with that comment, and there is nothing to add. She ate, left no crumbs. There's no bone on that plate. So we're going to end it at that. You guys jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like, comment. So now we have a PeePeeBro post. We basically have a man that is admitting that he is, in fact, a sex pest. So he went to Lima, Peru. He says, I went there twice a few years ago, specifically Miraflores and Barranco. I think it's overrated. I am a 5'11" white guy, late 30s. They literally make their height their personality. He says, did not get any contact on the streets except ladies of the night. Everything is expensive, like New York City prices. The people were rude. I went to a restaurant, sat down, and the manager starts running his mouth about gringos. I got up and left. Went to another restaurant and made some small talk with the waitress. Then I hear a woman in the back running her mouth. Extra, extra hero, this, extra inroad that, please forgive me, I do not speak Spanish, but that's probably code for PeePeeBro. I went to a Spanish immersion class. The instructor sat on her phone for half of the class and was awful, so I got up and left. He says, I did end up matching and hooking with a few fours and fives online who had attitudes and were flaky. I really don't understand about the hype about this place. Maybe the other cities in Peru are better, but Lima sucked. I really couldn't wait to leave. These people, these people literally expect to go to these places and be like edified and put on a pedestal like they are demigods. And they don't really know and understand that their reputation precedes them. Maybe the few years ago, before the PeePeeBro phenomenon was big and talked about on social media, maybe they were being treated differently, but now they are being treated like they're treating the locals, or they're getting back what they have put into the environment. These people have they have a reputation about themselves, and he did precisely what his reputation says. He went there, he slept with some women, and now and then he left. What value are you doing? You are going there to use women, plural, because he said I did end up matching and hooking with a few fours and fives. So he goes there to take from these women, and that's it. And they were not kind to him. He deserved this. And so I talk about these things periodically because we need to see, and these videos need to go far and wide, so that if these people have not yet touched some of these places, because now this man is about to go exploring in other places. So women globally need to know that these men are coming, so that they can have a heightened sense of awareness when they see them coming. All right, some of the comments. Listing in age, height, and race is pretty meaningless. Matt Damon and Philip Seymour Hoffman were the same age, height, and race before Hoffman's death, but were obviously different levels of attractiveness. Your looks are going to factor into your success. These people are so superficial. This person says, you are not alone. Lima was a waste of time. Pretentious people, like you said, not cheap. The city absolutely sucks. Can go on. But there are some hot women, but like I said, pretentious. Might as well be in New York for that kind of energy. There are reasons why it's not an sex dating hotspot. The other countries in South America are way better for that. That said, Peru is a great country and has a ton to offer once you leave Lima. For reference, I am 6'2", late in his 30s, decent shape. Now, the thing about this is they are literally looking for patriarchy on a budget. They are looking for nookie robots on a budget. That is all these women are to them. I don't want to give these people any more time. I just wanted to put that out there, that is what these people do. They are looking for patriarchy on a budget. Women are nothing more than a hole, and they want that hole to be cheap. All right, jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. And the test question of the day is, what is your favorite snack? What's your favorite snack of right now? Jump in the comments and let me know. That is where we are going. Let me know what you think about the sex pest and what is your favorite snack. Jump in the comments, like, comment, share.